Warning: you might find the content herein disturbing, but the truth must be revealed.
Welcome to our program, Ronen Bar, Vegan, Bringing Animal Suffering to Light, Part 1 of 3. In 1998, the UK animal rights organisation Uncaged, now known as the Centre for Animals and Social Justice, a Shining World Compassion Award laureate, designated December 10th as International Animal Rights Day. This date corresponds with the annual celebration of Human Rights Day, thus reminding society that animals also deserve freedom, justice, and respect just like humans. Since then, animal activists hold events worldwide on International Animal Rights Day to raise awareness of the sanctity of animal life. In honor of this important upcoming occasion, this three-part show features an interview with the brave Israeli journalist and vegan animal advocate Ronen Bar, and shares the story of his mission to highlight the immense suffering endured by animals killed for food. Ronen's worldwide investigations have revealed the truth of the animals' extreme anguish in slaughterhouses and elsewhere to the public. His work has led to wide-scale public debates, class action lawsuits, criminal prosecutions, and new legislation. He is the CEO and founder of Sentient, an international investigative non-profit group working on the behalf of animals being abused by the food industry and others, and the board chairperson for the Modern Agriculture Foundation, an entity that promotes alternative proteins. To begin, Ronen shares with us the reason he became vegan.
I became vegan, I think, 14 years ago approximately. And it was out of compassion for the animals. I started reading and hearing what's happening to animals on factory farming. And first, I didn't believe it's possible. So I went to see with my own eyes whether the harsh depictions of this reality on websites of animal rights organizations were true. And unfortunately, I realized that it's even worse than you can see on websites when you see it with your own eyes, when you feel it, when you smell it, when you see it. So I went vegan.
The journey to fight for animal rights inspired Ronen to found Sentient. Sentient's investigations are not limited to Israel, but are global. Let's find out about Sentient's purpose, work, and partnerships with like-minded organizations.
I worked at a few slaughterhouses and abattoirs and factory farming in Israel with Anonymous for Animal Rights. It's an Israeli-based animal rights organization. And in the beginning of 2017, I formed Sentient, which is a group that focuses on undercover investigations worldwide and also in Israel, but most of our focus is worldwide. So I think there is a lot of place for undercover work and for exposing the reality behind the closed gates at factory farms and slaughterhouses. And Sentient's goal and mission and the reason for its formation is really to go to places and to make investigations that others are not doing, to shed a light on industries and on places and on things that are just not spoken about. I'll just give one example. The cattle, the Australian cattle industry that people thought, and unfortunately some still think, are very humane and they live in open spaces in the vast country of Australia, but we went undercover there and showed that the reality is a very, very cruel industry. Just to give one example, they dehorn the cattle with no painkillers, and some of the baby calves die because their mother gets sent to the abattoir, so there is no one to take care after the calf, no one to feed it. So we watched a few calves just starve to death over a few days. That was exposing the Australian cattle industry. Collaborating and supporting other groups and other groups supporting us is one of our keystones. It's one of the pillars of our work. Just to give one example, we did an undercover investigation in collaboration with PETA, about Heifer International. It's a non-profit that gives livestock to families in developing countries such as India. So we showed the cruelty and the suffering of these animals, of goats in India. Most of our investigations are via collaboration with other organizations.
Let's take a moment for a constructive message. We'll be right back. Please stay tuned to Supreme Master Television.
Be vegan, repentant, save your soul.
Welcome back to our program, Ronen Bar, Vegan, Bringing Animal Suffering to Light, Part 1 of 3. Undercover investigators constantly face risks and dangers to bring justice for animals and expose the abominably cruel system of animal livestock raising. They are truly courageous souls.
There are always risks in these undercover investigations, in the sense that you can always get caught. They can always somehow maybe understand that you're an undercover investigator, that you're not from the industry. Of course, they can try to sue you in many different scenarios. So there are risks, also financial risks and risk to the investigators themselves. But we really try to minimize those risks. There's always danger. You're going up against very strong corporations. Some years ago, I did an investigation on what was then the biggest abattoir in Israel, owned by the biggest food brand in Israel. And later on, this company got sued, also a class action, which made them pay more than $1 million, most of it, by the way, to animal rights organizations. So you're dealing with powerful institutions and sometimes powerful individuals who lose their job or lose a lot of income. I think the way to protect yourself is first to be professional. You gotta know the laws. You gotta know exactly what you're doing, and you gotta think before you're doing things, and you gotta be alert and attentive.
Through these undercover investigations, Sentient has revealed the absolute horrors inside animal livestock factories, where the animals are terrorized and the workers become numb to the daily massacre they witness.
I saw this when I worked at the biggest abattoir in Israel. You don't have to do anything for the animals to suffer. Just being there with unfamiliar smells, other cows that they don't know, taken by a truck to a place which is unfamiliar, they feel something bad is going to happen, and they bellow, they scream. You don't have to do anything for that. So this systematic cruelty, which is about the genetic of the animals, it's about the fear of being dragged to an unfamiliar space. I think that's the hardest thing, and that's the most cruel thing about the industry. Of course, the sadistic cruelty is part of the systematic cruelty, because I'll just give one figure. A slaughterer in Israel kills millions of animals in his own hands during his career. It can be 6 million birds that he has killed, or 7 in his own hands. It's about a human story, the story of a person who loses all sensitivity within the system. And of course you will lose sensitivity after you've watched millions of animals killed in front of your eyes.
We deeply appreciate Mr. Barr and his team for taking tremendous risks to uncover the truth of the profoundly inhumane treatment of animals in livestock factories and being their staunch defenders. For more information about Ronen Bar, please visit sentientworld.org and facebook.com/sentientforall. Please join us again on Thursday, December 10th for part 2 of Ronen Bar Vegan, Bringing Animal Suffering to Light. Sensitive viewers, it has been an honor to have you with us today.